I'm Vanessa Hall. I'm also known as the Trust Lady, which is how people often refer to me when they meet me or have heard something about me. I'm the International Ambassador for Trust. So my whole life has been a journey of trust, of betrayal, of understanding the role that trust has actually played in my own life, and has spurred a whole journey of building an organisation, an international organisation that helps people understand and harness the power, but also nurture the fragility of trust. It started through issues in my own childhood where I saw trust betrayed and my own trust betrayed, and it really got me thinking, I think, about just who you can trust. I've broken my own trust countless times, as we all often do. My husband, I married actually very young. I married at 19 and had a lovely relationship. My husband passed away when my son then was only 9 months old. So I felt betrayed then. The plans that we had just disappeared at that point, and I felt that the trust that I had in him, in that relationship, and where that was going was broken and betrayed. So again, sort of really was wanting to understand this whole concept of trust and the role that it plays in our lives. I ended up developing a career in compliance and risk management in the finance industry. So I always tell people I worked in one of the least trusted industries, at the mistrust end of business, because I was dealing with fraud, with constant breakdown of trust and breaches of trust. Every day that was my job, and to help the organisations understand the importance of nurturing the trust that people are giving you their life savings, and what are we doing with that, and how do we nurture that and make sure that we respect that trust. So I was kind of thinking about this whole thing about trust and its role, and how important it was, and I started to think, I think this is something that I really want to be about. I want to be about trust, and I want to help people understand it. However, my son, who kind of fast forward was now 9, made a card for me at school for Mother's Day, and he brought it home. He was very excited about giving it to me. So he made me my cup of tea and my toast, and brought me my breakfast in bed, and he gave me this card that he'd written and drawn, and had little flowers and things on it, and it says, my mum is loving and caring. She likes to buy lots of clothes. She always writes and reads. Sometimes she can keep promises, but the best thing about my mum is she's always there for me. And it was really sweet, and I sort of read it, but of course I went, what do you mean sometimes she keeps promises? What's that about? He just said, you just don't always keep your promises. And I thought, you can't be serious. Like, other people do that, I don't do that. And I said, give me an example. And he said, well, like a couple of weekends ago, you said we'd go to the movies on the weekend, and then we didn't go. And I remembered, what had happened that weekend. We just got busy and people popped in and things. And I said to him, but that wasn't a promise. And he said, but I thought it was. And I started to think about how many times I would do that with him, and then I started to think about all the times we do that with everybody. It's that, we must do lunch kind of things that we say all the time. And my head went into a bit of a spin, and I said to him, what happens when I do that? How does that make you feel? And he was sitting on the edge of my bed, and he looked me straight in the eye, and he said, I don't know when I can trust you. And it gutted me. It was the worst thing he could have given me for Mother's Day, but then, looking back now, I think it was the best thing. He woke me up to realise just how easy it is for all of us to break trust. With the very people that we want to have a trusted relationship with. And in some ways it was great that he at least felt comfortable to raise it. But it was really the start point for me of going, okay, I've really got to get a handle on this. Either I'm a really bad parent, or we're all doing this. And maybe this is actually at the root cause of all the problems that we have in all of our relationships, in our corporate world. How many times do we promise things and then not deliver on them? Whether it's our customers getting frustrated, or our employees. We set up these great mission statements and things, then we don't follow through. And it's just this whole world opened up for me, and I started to look at everything through this lens of trust, whether that's watching the news or just seeing how people interact. And I thought, this is at the core of everything, of every relationship, to the extent that You know, I then developed a model that describes how trust works. Wrote books, and have taken this now around the world. So my entire life, my passion is about helping people understand how important trust is, but also how fragile it is, and to really harness and nurture that for the benefit of all of us.